Bryce Harper has been an absolute freak this postseason. The one thing we haven't seen though is his glove, because he's been DHing like the whole time, but we have a lot of positive things to say about the way he breaks it in, the way he shapes it, so let's dive in. Before we even start showing how he breaks it in and whatnot, let's look at the glove itself. So the model says like BH13, Bryce Harper. This is the Rawlings Pro 303, and this is it just slightly bigger. That's like having the Wilson 1799. It's just the stock outfield glove, and it's great. I have nothing bad to say about it. So the Bryce Harper model is gonna be best for anybody out there who just wants the biggest glove possible. Technically, you're not supposed to go over 13 inches. In high school, I had a couple kids who had a 14-inch like softball glove. Technically, you're not supposed to do that. Now, as I said in the title, he has the most basic glove possible, but it's actually a good thing. To start off, Bryce Harper wears the glove 2 in the pinky. He closes the glove with 2 hinges. Sometimes he actually slides his pointer finger into that index slot. Not always, but you can find it in a few pictures. But when it comes to the shape of the glove, he flares that thumb, the pinky just a little bit, and then those fingers have just a normal slight roll in. He tightens those fingers up a lot, by the way. And I need you guys to pay attention to how he actually flares the thumb. He doesn't grab it out here and just pull like this. It's a very gradual flare. So what you don't want to do is grab the tip and go like this. It's going to look something like that. Instead, you want to grab this whole thing and bend right here. It's almost like this is where the glove starts to bend out. The end of my thumb is like right here, and that's pretty much where the glove starts to flare out. So just push against it like this. You just don't want to grab the end. Push against it right here in the middle. Let's actually crack down on the Harper model here and see if it's any good. That's the Rawlings Hyper Shell. That's not going to add or take anything major from the glove. They say it reduces weight by like 15%. There's not a ton of it on this glove, so there's not going to be a big enough of a difference for you to actually notice. Other than that, you have black leather, a gray palm, and then the gold binding and welting. You guys need to decide if you like the way it looks. I'll be honest, I personally am not a huge fan. I think if I were to take away all the gold on this glove and either replace it with white or even just black, it would look better. If you didn't know, that Hyper Shell actually feels pretty smooth. It has like a woven pattern in it, but you'll notice if you like scratch this stuff, it's like scratch proof. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's nice. It's actually comfortable to the touch. If you like the way that it looks, you'll be very happy with it. I don't like the way it looks, so that's kind of the major problem. Something that actually sticks out a ton on this glove is the red hand-sewn welting. It's both on the thumb and the pinky side. That is completely different than your typical glove. This is what welting looks like on basically every glove ever. The welting just goes down the thumb. It looks exactly the same as everywhere else on the glove. This just adds a little bit of an extra pizzazz. It looks really cool. I do like that they went with red. I think it looks fantastic. Enough about the looks though. Let's talk more about the actual performance of this glove. So with that hand-sewn welting, it typically does serve an actual purpose. Yes, it looks cool, but there's normally a seam that would go on the inside of the glove because of the welting. And so it's taking the seam and basically pushing it onto the outside. What ends up happening is it's more comfortable for your thumb and your pinky inside the actual glove. It's sort of a glove nerd thing, but it's a good touch. You guys, I mentioned before, Bryce Harper closes it with 2 hinges, meaning one right here and one right here. The shape of the glove naturally is very even. So if you wanted to break it in like this, sure. If you want to break it in like this, sure. I definitely advise you not to do it, but you can. I know it's super common, but let's talk about that H web. The reason it's so common is it's kind of just the best all-around web you can have. Technically, some webs are going to be weaker. It doesn't make a big difference. It's mostly just preference on how it looks and how it feels while you're actually catching the ball. Some of you guys out there probably play a lot of both infield and outfield, and that's where I would say use an H web. If you were to go with maybe 12 and a quarter with an H web, you can easily use this glove in both the infield and the outfield. If that happens to be you, I have a glove for you in the description. It's like a Chris Bryant model, 12 and a quarter H web. It works really, really well, and it's pretty cheap. But back to our outfielders, this 13-inch H web feels great, but it is just barely heavy, and it's 13 inches, so we can kind of expect it. If 13 inches is feeling too big, you should probably go with 12.75. This one here has that 6-finger web. I did a whole video on Mike Trout and his glove, how he wears it, blah, blah, blah. Should probably check it out.